got drunk.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, it was 2001 I came back, and I just, like, I bought this lorry for 1,800 quid. It was like an old Scania, just an ex-tipper. It was like a bit of a wreck. And so I painted it and sort of mended it and built a box on the back with seats in and things. And then I got it all, drove all the way to Cape Town, back up to Malawi, and then I sold it for £10,000. So come back with all this cash, and bought some lorries and put them on a ship, and went out to try and sell them. So I went with my dodgy uncle. So I had 2 flatbed trucks with 2 tractor units sat on the back of them, and a load of spare engines and tyres and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that took me a year and a bit. Well, I was partying all the time as well, so I wasn't really being very serious about things. And I sold all them, and then I was off then in exporting lorries. Then I had all the contacts then.
Yeah.
But when I landed back, it was there'd never been that many cockles in the bay.
So this was 2001.
Yeah, so I'd started cockling then, and all of a sudden you're going out earning 600 quid a day. It was I don't know, we've had the tax investigation, so we can talk about all that.
So, who did you start cockling with?
Harold Benson. And I just knew him from the pub.
And back in them days, was it just a case that we're going out cockling, do you want to come out?
Yeah, sort of, but I had sort of access to tractors, and also I was, quite capable, a good tractor driver, and I'm used to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I sort of took to it, and also, I could make myself very useful. So I think, was it that year, we ended up. I think actually that was. We did the guy fired the rocket off in the middle of the bay. Actually, Star Chaser Industries. He was trying to win the X Prize, which was a $10 million prize for the first amateur spaceflight, and he built this thing in Salford University and came up here, and they took it right out into the middle of the bay and tested it. They were planning on putting a person in it, and we took the television cameras out. So I borrowed a tractor and trailer, and me and Harold, and on this day out then.
Yeah.
And I had been cockling a few times with him then.
Yeah.
And then, so in between, like, landing back and then having this, like, I'm going to go and export lorries because I've got this money and stuff, I was also started going cockling. And then I came back then, I went with this, so I was here for nearly a year, I think, 9 months or so, and then I went back to Africa with these trucks. Then when I came back, it was just a complete gold rush. There was 800 people going out in the bay, and Harold and me were with 2 big tractors that he owned one, and then we hired one, and I borrowed a big trailer. We were carting cockles back for the buyer.
Yeah.
So we were driving out.
Getting the bags.
Well, yeah, we were driving out, and whoever was selling to him was loading them on this trailer. Yeah. And we were bringing them in. I once actually drove 16 tons of cockles off the middle of the bay, and didn't get stuck going up the Schiller or anything. But and actually the tide, all the scousers were loading it, and they kept chucking bags on, and the tide was actually around the back wheels. Wow. About 4 or 5 miles off Bardsey over there.
So like out from Popra.
Yeah. Out from Ulston.
Okay.
From Bardsey, so it was in that bit there, sort of lemon bit there.
Yeah.
And but it was madness. There was people turning up from all over the country who'd heard about it, and were just turning up with pickup trucks, or they found a tractor somewhere, and nobody knew what they were doing. So there was Harold and me were sort of quite visible because we've got these bigger tractors.
Yeah.
And he looks like my dad. People used to confuse us, and then everybody thought he was my dad, and then also they thought I was him and he was me. And
so you were a pair. You stood out as a pair.
Sort of, yeah. And then they just follow us out. Yeah. I mean, he's really, really knowledgeable. He's done it all his life. His dad was a fisherman, and he really knows his way around. And he sort of taught me how to do it.
Yeah. So were you actually doing any cockling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in between loading the trailer up, we were also picking cockles ourselves, and then we had like lads from the pub with us. And,
so even with 800 people out there, people were still managing to bring off like half a ton.
I think that year